Put the larger card in.
Okay.
You're rolling.
Okay, great. So, Stan, tell me, is there any interesting crop circles lately? Have you heard of any?
I read a lot of UFO literature, of course, and I do hear about studies on crop circles. It's not really my thing. I've
Sure.
stood in a crop circle in California.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay.
And of course, I don't believe that they're all made by Doug and Dave after a session in a bar in England.
Yeah.
You know, some people want to say, oh, they made them all. Sure, they occur in Canada, they occur in the United States, and they are peculiar formations. What they mean is something I haven't any idea. There's a guy in Holland, I guess, who has some psychic notions about what they mean. And there's some research going on, but it's not my bag. I'm a nuclear physicist,
Okay.
and my interest is in other directions. I have now, what I really am interested in, though, the physical trace cases. A guy named Ted Phillips in Missouri has collected more than 4,000 cases from at least 80 countries all over the world, in which people observe a saucer on or near the ground, and after it leaves, one finds the equivalent of burned circles, burned rings, landing gear marks, nothing elaborate like the crop circles. And these are important. About a sixth of those cases involve reports of beings associated with the craft. And I have had tests done on the affected soil
Okay.
and higher level of soluble minerals than nearby soil. And this stuff won't grow anything afterward. And the reason is the soil is too salty. It prevents seed
Okay.
germination and stuff.
Okay.
So those cases are interesting because those are the small objects, the Earth excursion modules, I like to call them, as opposed to the huge motherships. People forget that they want it to be one object that lands in your backyard and then goes off to Zeta Reticuli. It's not the way things seem to be. They seem to be motherships, super carriers, space carriers, whatever you want to call them. There's a great report out of Canada in which, in the Yukon, a civil engineer named Martin Jasek was able to talk to 32 different people who had observed this huge object. Civil engineer was able to triangulate. The back end was over the mountain, the front end was over the lake, and you take enough people, someplace between half and 1 mile long. This was a humongous object. There's another case, a Japan Airlines flight, a big 747 coming from Iceland to Fairbanks and then to Japan. Twice the size of an aircraft carrier, something circled around this object. They reported to the ground radar, who saw them on the radar, and the object circling around them, which is kind of a neat trick.
Okay.
They had to get permission to change their path, and they flew in a circle, and this thing stayed right with them. It was, again, huge, twice the size of an aircraft carrier. It's almost half a mile long. So, think in terms of motherships. I mean, I have people say to me, how come some advanced technology from out there comes all the way here and crashes? And I'm saying, it's not the interstellar craft that crashes. There have been several good crashes. If any crashes, good. But at least they tell us something about the saucers. And they're not the huge motherships. They're the small, less than 100 feet in diameter object. Aztec, New Mexico was one 6 months or so, well, 9 months after Roswell. And it was an object that was picked up, carried to Los Alamos. Some exciting new research has been done by chief investigators, Scott and Suzanne Ramsey. She had lived out there, so they could go out to Aztec, New Mexico, and do a lot of research, talk to a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't have talked about them, but because they're familiar with the area, locals, and so forth. So there also seemed to be more than one group. Just as after Columbus came to the New World, and you got the Dutch and the French and the Portuguese and the Brits and all kinds of people. There seem to be a lot of different groups coming here. Now, there may be, in one of my books I have 20 reasons for coming to planet Earth. You know, why do people do all kinds of things? Why do people go through O'Hare Airport? It's not just one reason. A lot of different reasons. And so, you know, maybe they're grad students doing their research on the development of a primitive society. We certainly qualify on those grounds. They may be stealing our goodies.